For the hat, you have to cast on a multiple of 16. I cast on 80 stitches. So it's the usual long tail cast on. You just leave the tail as long as you need, depending on how many stitches you cast on. Maybe if you have, I'm using DK yarn, maybe if you want to knit from thinner yarn, you can cast on 96 stitches, for example, or maybe if you have a chunky yarn, you can cast on 62, 64. So depending on the yarn, you can change the number, but it's still a multiple of 16. I will cast on 80 stitches. So like I said, the usual cast on. I do it like this. I just put the tail on my finger and just start like this. And continue until I have 80 stitches. Here I have my 80 stitches, and we are adding 1 stitch for joining the round. So now I have 81. Or if you have a chunky yarn, you should have 64 plus 1, or if you have sock yarn or something like that, you should have 96 plus 1. So now we are joining the round. See that you don't have twisted stitches. So we put the stitches like this, that they come to both ends. And usually I join the round like this. Slip the first stitch that we cast on to the right needle, pass over the last stitch that we cast on, over that stitch, see, and then I'll put it back, and now we just pull on that stitch, and we have joined the round. So we put a marker for the beginning of the round, and we can start knitting. And as you can see, we start by knit 1, slip 1, yarn over, and that's what we will do. Knit 1 as usual, and slip 1, yarn over means you go with the needle under the yarn. If you're knitting continental, you do it like this. If you're knitting English style, it's different. Also, you go with the needle under the yarn and slip them purlwise, so you have a stitch and a yarn over, and continue. Knit 1, slip 1, yarn over, knit 1, and you just continue until you have the entire round. You have knit all the stitches the same way. Knit 1, slip 1, yarn over, the repeat for the entire round. Knit 1 and slip 1, yarn over. See, that's what I mean in the chart, and that's what I showed you. Slip 1 and then knit 1 and then slip 1, yarn over again and again for all the stitches. So I am finishing the round number 1. I still have just a few stitches, so the repeat, as I said, knit 1, slip 1, yarn over, again knit 1, slip 1, yarn over, and here I get to the end of the round. So I pick up the contrast color yarn, just put it like this. Here we can pull a little bit on this stitch to join the round better, and we start round number 2, and it goes like this: slip one yarn over, brioche purl. You can see here the symbols. So slip one yarn over is the same as we did previously, and brioche purl means that you purl together the stitch and the yarn over from the previous round. So slip one yarn over, and we do it. I just put the yarn like this and start. Slip one yarn over. After that we have brioche purl. So we purl the stitch and the yarn over from the previous row, like this. And again, slip one yarn over, brioche purl, and you repeat that until you have knit all the stitches in this round until the end of the round. So now I'm finishing the round number 2. Slip one yarn over, brioche purl, slip one yarn over, and here don't lose this yarn over like I just almost did, so you know that in the end you have the stitch with the yarn over. Well, not in the end, but everywhere you have to brioche purl, so we just add that yarn over. After that you leave the contrast color in front, the main color should be in the back. You pick it up and move the marker, and we start around number 3. And as you can see, the repeat here is brioche knit, slip one yarn over. See the symbol for brioche knit and slip one yarn over as we did in these first 2 rounds previous. So you just repeat that: brioche knit, slip one yarn over. Brioche knit means you knit together the stitch and the yarn over from the previous row. So now we can see that the stitch and the yarn overs are in different colors, so it's easier to see them. So we just brioche knit and slip one yarn over. So where you have 2 stitches, you knit them together. Where you have just one, slip it with the yarn over. When you have the stitch with the yarn over in contrast color, knit it, slip one yarn over, and you repeat that for the entire round. So I'm finishing round number 3. Brioche knit, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over. After that we leave the main color in the back, just like we did this slip one yarn over. Move the marker to the other needle, pick up the contrast color that we have in front of the work, and we continue with round number 4. And the repeat here is, or it's the same, this round number 4 is the same as round number 2. I just put them like this because, as I wrote here, you have to repeat these 3 rounds, 2 3 4 or 2 3 2, because it's the same, or 4 3 4. You can name it the way you want to, but you have to repeat these 3 rounds after each of these next rounds. So I write 17, and after that you have to know that it goes 18, 19, 20, and then 21, this one, and again 22, 23, 24. So these 3, but as you can see, these 2 are the same. So actually you're knitting this round twice and this one in between them. So now, as I said, we are knitting round number 4. That is the same, identical as round number 2, and we repeat slip one yarn over, brioche purl. So I will show you, just convince you that it's the same. So we just slip one yarn over and brioche purl. So you just repeat that until you finish this round, and after that you have to repeat these 2 rounds 3 and 4 again and again, as many times as you want to, for the height of the brim. So here is my hat, and I have here, let's see, like 1.5 inch, 4 centimeters, or 1.5, give or take, inch for the brim. Maybe you want to do the brim higher and to wear the hat like this. Depends how you want to, what you want to do. So here I knit the entire brim. That's 20 rounds. So now I have to start around number 21. As you can see here, I actually printed the wrong version of the pattern, so now I hope it's okay if I will show you on my laptop like this. So now I have to start around number 21, and as you can see I was knitting back and forth, but that's no problem for you to follow and do in the round. So just imagine that I am knitting the entire round and showing you only the one repeat of the pattern. So now here on number 21, as you can see, we have to start with the brioche 4 stitches increase. After that, brioche knit 2 stitches, and then we have the brioche 4 stitches decrease. So I will show you how to do each of them, and in the end we have 2 brioche knit stitches. So let's start now around number 21. As I said, just imagine that I have here all my stitches, and now I'm starting the round just like you will. And I have here a split stitch. Okay, so now here we have to do the 4 stitches increase. For that, brioche knit, and don't slip the stitch, yarn over, again brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. So when we have 5 stitches on the needle, we slip the stitch from the needle. After that, slip on, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on, yarn over, brioche knit, slip on, yarn over, and we get to this part where we have to do the 4 stitches decrease, and we will work on these 5 stitches. That means 3 brioche knit stitches with the yarn overs and 2 brioche purl stitches in between. So for the 4 stitches decrease, you will need a cable needle, or I find it even more easier to use a marker. So what we will do, we will slip knitwise the first stitch, and then the second one knitwise, and then the third stitch goes on the marker, and leave it in front of the work. After that, you knit the next stitch that you have on the needle, slip, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next stitch that you have on the left needle, slip the stitch to the right needle and pass over that first stitch that we slipped. After that, take the stitch and the yarn over together from the marker and put them on the left needle, and after that you slip to the left needle that stitch that we slipped around, and here we pass over that stitch that we had on the marker, slip the stitch to the right needle, and there it is. Only let me show it like this, just is the yarn over that came through the stitch, somehow like this. So this is the 4 stitches decrease. After that, slip one yarn over. As you can see in the chart, we just brioche knit all the stitches, well, 2 stitches, just to finish the repeat. And here I have this yarn over that shouldn't be here. So brioche knit, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and then that's the end of the repeat that you have to do. After that, after each pattern, as I said, after each round that we have next, after 21, 25, 29, you see it's not the next round is not 22, it's 25. So 22, 23, and 24 are these 3 rounds. 2, 3, 4. So after each of these rounds, after 21, after 25, 29, and so on, you will repeat these 3 rounds. So now I will show you round number 2. So let me make you believe that I'm working in the round. So I will do what I have to do to get to the beginning of the round. So here, let's say that I am working already around number 22. This is round number 2 that you have to repeat, and there's an exception for round number 2 that you will need every time compared to what I showed you. So when you have these increased stitches, so we have 5 stitches in the same main color, that means that we increased here in the previous round, and how you will knit here in round number 2. So according to the chart, you have to repeat slip on yarn over, brioche purl. So we start slip on yarn over, and here instead of brioche purl, you just purl this 1 stitch. After that, slip on yarn over, purl again, slip on yarn over, and after we finished these increased stitches, we just continue the repeat as usual. Brioche purl, slip on yarn over, brioche purl, slip on yarn over, brioche purl. No exceptions anywhere, just where you have those increased stitches, you have to purl instead of brioche purl. So when we have the 4 stitches increase in the next round, we will have slip on yarn over, purl 1, slip on yarn over, purl 1, slip on yarn over, and then you continue the usual repeat of the round number 2. So I finished, let's say I finished round number 2. Now you have to repeat rounds 3 and 4, and then as you can see in round number 25, it's the same repeat as in round number 3. So we have to brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over. See, no exception here. So you will knit round number 25 just like round number 3. After round number 25, you will repeat these 3 rounds, round 2, 3, and 4, and then I will show you how to knit round number 29. So this is how your hat looks like until now in round number 29. When you have to start this round, this is how it looks like. This is the beginning of the round. So we have these 3 brioche knit columns going from here from the increase, and after that we have all these brioche knit columns. So I will knit now until the beginning of the round that you have. So here it is. So it's round number 29, and as you can see in the chart, we have to start by brioche knitting 1 stitch, slip on yarn over, brioche 4 stitches increase, slip on yarn over, 2 brioche knit stitches and slip on yarn over in between, and then again decrease, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over. So it's kind of almost the same thing we did in the previous round, only we start with the brioche knit stitches and we'll finish with just 1 brioche knit instead of 2. So let's do it, and let's focus first. So brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and here in the center we increase, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. So when you have 5 stitches, you slip the stitches from the needle, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and here, we have to decrease again. So we have just above this decrease, we will have another one. We have again those 5 stitches that we will use for that, for the decrease. So we start by slipping knitwise 1, slipping knitwise 2, and then we slip to the marker, the central stitch, this the stitch with the yarn over, goes in the front of the work, and then we knit the next stitch, pass over that stitch, the second stitch that we slipped, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next stitch, slip the stitch to the right needle, pass over the first stitch we slipped, and after that we slip, we put to the needle, on the needle, the stitch and the yarn over from the marker, we slip the stitch from the right needle and pass over that stitch, and slip the stitch to the right needle, and here it is again, a 4 stitches decrease. After that, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, and that's the end of this round number 29. Well, that for the repeat of this round, so you will need these all of these instructions, you will repeat them. If you need 80 stitches like me, you will repeat them 4 more times. If you have more or less stitches, then see how many times you will repeat them until you finish the round. And as usual, after that you have to knit rounds 2, 3 and 4. And then, as you can see in the chart, in round number 33, we have the same thing we did in round number 25. It's identical to round number 3. So you just brioche knit all the stitches, brioche knit and slip 1 yarn over in between. So you brioche knit all the stitches in the main color and slip 1 yarn over all the stitches in the contrast color. And after that, again, knit rounds 2, 3 and 4. And after that, I'll show you round number 37. So this is how my knitting looks now when I have to start around 37. See, we have 2 decreases, one above the other, and 2 increases, one above the other. And now we will do the third. Just here in the center we will increase, and here we will decrease. As you can see in the chart, this round number 37 is almost like the previous rounds, only the increases are after 2 brioche knit columns, the increase, and then after the decrease we don't have brioche knit stitches. So let's start. I will start now the knitting until I get to the beginning of the round. So here I am, round number 37, and as you can see in the chart we have 2 brioche knit stitches, and after that the increase. So we start brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, and here, as I said, just above the other increases we increase again, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, and slip the stitch from the needle. After that, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip 1 yarn over, and here in these 5 stitches we will do the decrease, 4 stitches decrease. So brioche slip knitwise the stitch, slip knitwise the next stitch. After that the central stitch goes to the marker, the central stitch with the yarn over, and then we knit the next stitch, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next stitch we have there, slip the stitch to the right needle, pass over the stitch that we have here, slip the stitch from the marker, we put it on the needle, and we slip from the right needle to the left needle and pass over the stitch with the yarn over, and slip the stitch to the right needle. We have the decrease. After that, slip 1 yarn over, and this is the entire repeat that you have in this round number 37. So as usual, after this round you knit rounds 2, 3 and 4, and then in round number 41 you do the same as we did in round number 25 and 33. You just brioche knit all the stitches, and after that you knit again rounds 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll continue with round number 45. So this is how my knitting looks in the beginning before starting round number 45. You can see here from all these columns we have just one, kind of the opposite of where we started. In the beginning we had here just one, and we increased, and now we have a whole tree here, and here we had a tree, let's say like that, and now we decreased, and we have only one brioche knit column stitches. So now in round number 45, we have to start with a right slant decrease. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, 4 stitches increase, again slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, left slant decrease, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over. So let's start and see how we will do everything. I start my knitting until I get to that beginning of the round 45. So as I said in the beginning, we have to do the right slant decrease. For that, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit the next one, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, and pass over the next brioche stitch and slip the stitch to the right needle. And here it is, we have the right slant decrease. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, and here we have the increase, the 4 stitches increase just above the other ones. We increase again, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, 5 stitches, so slip the stitch from the needle, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, and here we have the left slant decrease in these 3 stitches. For that, slip knit twice the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches. In brioche, the stitch and the yarn over are 1 stitch, so we have 2, but actually in normal knitting that's 3 stitches. So we knit them together and we pass over that first slipped stitch, and we have the left slant decrease. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and this is the end of the repeat. So you repeat as many times as you have to. After that, after round 45, we knit rounds 2, 3, and 4 as usual. After that, in round number 49, that is totally identical to the round number 45, we do again the same thing that I showed you now. Repeat over and over until you finish the round, and then as usual knit rounds 2, 3, and 4. After that, we see that in round number 53 we have no increases or decreases, so we do it just like rounds 25, 33, 41. We just, and just like round number 3, we just brioche knit, slip on yarn over again and again. So we knit this round. After that, as usual, you knit round 2, 3, and 4, and after that I will show you what you have to do in round number 57. So this is how my knitting looks before starting round 57. And now let's see what we have to do. So we have 2 brioche knit stitches in the beginning, after that the decrease, 2 brioche knit stitches, and the increase. So kind of the opposite of what we did in round 21. We started with the increase, and then after 2 we did the decrease, and here we have all this part, and then the increase is in the end of the round. So let me start knitting, and then when I get to the beginning of the round, let's focus. So we are starting by knitting 2 stitches, brioche knit stitches. So that's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and now here in these 5 stitches we will do the 4 stitches decrease. And for that, as usual, we'll need a marker or a cable needle. We start by slipping one stitch knitwise, and then again another stitch knitwise. Then we slip purlwise to the marker, and we leave the stitch in front of the work. After that, knit the next stitch, pass over the second slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next brioche stitch with the yarn over that it has, slip the stitch to the right needle, pass over the first stitch that we slipped with the yarn over that it has, and then we put on the needle the stitch from the marker with the yarn over. We slip the stitch from the left needle to the right needle and pass over that stitch and slip the stitch to the right needle. So here we have a decrease. After that, slip on yarn over, we see that we have 2 brioche knit stitches and then the increase. So brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and here we have to increase. So brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. We have 5 stitches, we can slip the stitch from the needle and in the end slip on yarn over. So this is the repeat for this round. After that, we as usual knit rounds 2, 3 and 4, and then in round number 61 we knit brioche knit the stitches and slip on yarn over the contrast stitches, just like we did in the previous rounds of this type. And then as usual knit rounds 2, 3 and 4, and then we'll see how we have to knit round number 65. So this is how my knitting looks before starting round number 65. And now in round number 65 we start by knitting just 1. So in the previous round we had 2 brioche knit stitches in the beginning, now we have only 1, and the other one goes here in the end after the increase. So let's start. I'll just knit until you have to start the round. So here it is, the beginning of the round. Like I said, 65. Let's focus a little bit. And we start with a brioche knit stitch, slip on yarn over, and here we have in these 5 stitches just above the previous one we will decrease by 4 stitches. So slip knitwise the brioche stitch, slip knitwise again the next stitch, slip to the marker the central stitch and leave it in front of the work, knit the next stitch, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next brioche stitch, slip the stitch to the right needle, pass over the first stitch that we slipped. After that we have to put back the stitch from the marker, we put it back to the needle, on the needle, and then we slip the stitch from the right needle to the left needle and pass over the stitch and slip the stitch to the right needle, and here it is, the 4 stitches decrease. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2 stitches as you can see in the chart. That's 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and here when we look at our work we see this central stitch just above the previous increase. We will increase again here by 4 stitches. So in brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip the stitch from the needle, slip on yarn over, and brioche knit, and slip on yarn over in the end. So this was round 65. You repeat the the whole hat, all the repeats that you have the same way. After that, you knit rounds 2, 3, and 4, and then, as usual, we have in round number 69, we have to knit the stitches and slip on yarn over in between them, just as many rounds before. And then in round number 73, I will show you what you have to do next. So this is how my knitting looks now before starting round number 73. See? You don't have that, so for you it should start like this. This is the beginning of the round. And like this. This is one repeat. So now we start round number 73. And as you can see, we have the decrease, the 4 stitches decrease in the beginning, and then we have 2 brioche knit stitches, the increase, and again 2 brioche knit stitches. So now the decrease, let's focus, and we have we slip knitwise 1 stitch, we slip knitwise the 2nd stitch, we slip to the marker the 3rd stitch that we have here, the central stitch, the stitch and the yarn over, go to the marker, and we leave it in front. After that, we knit the next stitch, pass over the slipped stitch, slip the stitch to the left needle, pass over the next brioche stitch, slip the stitch to the right needle, pass over the 1st stitch that we slipped. After that, we put the stitch and the yarn over from the marker to the left needle, slip the stitch from the right needle to the left needle, and pass over. And after that, slip the stitch to the right needle. And here it is, we have the decrease. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and here in the center above the previous increase, we increase again. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip the stitch from the needle, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over, and this is the end of the repeat. So you repeat this again and again until the end of the round. After that, as usual, you have to knit rounds 2, 3, and 4, and then in round number 77, you just knit all the stitches just like we did in the previous rounds, just like in round number 3. After that, you knit again rounds 2, 3, and 4, and then we will start knitting around number 81. This is how the pattern looks like before round 81. In your case, it would be like this. And now we start the round, and as you can see in the chart, we have to start by brioche knit, after that right slant decrease, brioche knit, increase, brioche knit, left slant decrease. So I will start knitting, and now I get to the beginning of the round, and as I said, it's around 81. And we have to brioche knit in the beginning. After that, slip on yarn over, right slant decrease, so slip knitwise, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, and pass over and slip to the right needle. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over. Here above the increases, we increase again by 4 stitches, so brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit. After that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and here we have to do the left slant decrease, and for that slip knitwise the brioche stitch, knit together the next 2 brioche stitches and pass over the slipped stitch. After that, slip one yarn over, and this is the whole repeat for this round. So after this round you have to knit as usual rounds 2, 3 and 4. After that, in round 85 you do the same thing as in round 81. You see it's identical. And then after round 85 you knit again rounds 2, 3, 4, and then I will show and then in around 89 you knit all the stitches just in like in round 77, 69 and so on. And after the round 89 again you knit rounds 2, 3, 4, and then I will show you how to knit round number 93. So this is how the work looks like now before starting round number 3. And in this round, as you can see, it's very simple. We brioche knit almost all the columns, just here in the above all the increases that we did previously, we will decrease here the central 5 stitches, and the rest will be just brioche knit. So let's start. I will knit now the few stitches before the end and the beginning of the round. So here I am. Let's focus and start round number 93. As I said, we brioche knit, so we have 3 columns, as you can see in the chart. 3 brioche knit stitches, 1 slip one yarn over, 2 slip one yarn over, 3 slip one yarn over, and here are the 5 stitches where we have to do the 4 stitches decrease. So slip knitwise 1, slip knitwise 2, the third goes to the marker, the next one is knitted, and we pass over that slipped stitch. After that, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, pass over, slip the stitch from the marker to the left needle, slip the stitch from the left to the from the right needle to the left needle, and pass over, and after that slip the stitch to the right needle, and here we have the decrease. After that, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and this is the entire repeat of this round. After that, you have to, as usual, knit rounds 2, 3 and 4, and then in round number 97 you just brioche knit all the stitches like we did previously. Again you knit rounds 2, 3 and 4, and then in round number 101 I will show you how to knit the stitches. So this is what you have before round 101. This is the one repeat of the pattern, and what we have to do in round 101, kind of the same that we did in the previous round, only in the beginning we have only 2 brioche knit stitches, and in the end we'll have 1. So let's start. I'll just knit until the beginning of the round. So here it is, round 101. So as I said, we start with the brioche knit, slip one yarn over, again brioche knit, and now just above the previous decrease we decrease again these 5 stitches, slip one yarn over, I forgot. So now we slip knitwise the brioche stitch, again we slip knitwise the next one, then the central one goes to the marker, on the marker, The next one is knit, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, slip to the right needle, pass over, slip the stitch from the marker to the left needle, slip from the right needle to the left needle, and pass over, slip to the right needle, and we have the decrease. And after that, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and this is our repeat of the pattern. So you do that again and again until you finish the round. After that, as usual, you knit rounds 2, 3, and 4, and then in round 105 you just brioche knit and slip on yarn over, and then after that again knit rounds 2, 3, and 4, and after that I will explain around 109. So this is how the knitting looks like at this point. So we have only 8 stitches in one repeat, and so this is just only the half of what we started. We started with 16 in the beginning, so I guess even before this round you should have started knitting with DPNs or magic loop, because there are fewer stitches than in the beginning. So now let's see round number 109. Here it is, the beginning. So in this round, as you can see in the chart, we just brioche knit in the beginning, and after that we do the decrease. So brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and here the rest, well, just almost all the stitches in the repeat, 5 stitches, we do the decrease as usual. Slip knit twice, again slip knit twice, then we slip to the marker, leave it in front, knit the next stitch, pass over the second slipped stitch, slip to the left needle, pass over the next brioche stitch, slip to the right needle, pass over the first slipped stitch, slip to the left needle, the stitch and the yarn over from the marker, then slip from the right needle and pass over, and after that slip to the right needle, and there it is. In the end, slip on yarn over, and this is the entire repeat for this round, and we have less and less stitches. So after that you knit rounds 2, 3, and 4, and then the next round is 113. That's the last round. So I will show you how to knit this last round after you knit the entire round and rounds 2, 3, and 4. So here is round 113. Let's focus, and we are doing only one thing. We are knitting right slant decrease, slip one yarn over. So slip knit twice, knit the next stitch, pass over, slip to the left needle, pass over, and slip to the right needle. After that, slip one yarn over. So this is one repeat. If you have 5, that means you do this thing 5 times. If you have more or less, you do how many you have, and after that you will knit, you will I will show you. You have to knit round number 2. Let me just get to the point. So if you just knit the entire round, now it's 114. The last round you knitted like round number 2. So we just slip one yarn over, brioche purl. So again, this you do this as many times as you have repeats in your work. If you have 5, you do this 5 times. If you have more, you do it more or less. It depends how many you have. So after that, I have a few stitches more than you should have. So after that, when you finished this 114 round, you will, let me show you from the beginning of the round. So suppose you finished this round, this is how it looks like. I can take this off. You brioche knit this first stitch. You'll have the yarn from here as usual. Since I do it back and forth and not in the round, I have it there. So you knit this first stitch, slip it to the left needle, and pass over all the stitches that you have. Pass over this stitch, the entire hat, all the stitches. So let's say that I'm continuing like this. You just, if you're working on DPNs, you pass over the next DPN and you just pass over all the stitches. So, well, in your case it will look better. I did something here, so it's kind of not okay, but this is how it will look after you put all the stitches on this one and you pull on it and you insert the tail into this loop like this. No, it's not. So you pull on it, you can cut the yarn, and after that you weave in the ends, and you have like a kind of a star or something, or a snowflake, and you weave in the here it is, my main color. I weaved it in here, and then the other color you can take it to the other side and weave it in one of these brioche knit columns. So this is what we have in the end. The peacock feathers. The entire hat.